A very good morning to all of you. I would like to thank the Half Brick team and Bala to give me an opportunity to come and share my journey with all of you. I always have a dream to write a book. And I thought, let me, move an inch closer today by sharing my journey of life with you as a book titled My Tryst with Life. And I'll start with my first chapter. The chapter is Dreams. Follow your dreams, they know the way. This particular part of my life starts with my childhood, a curious little competitive child, always wanted to win, and then learned her limitations, and learned one part of her life, that's it, work hard and persevere. I still remember early 1990s, I come from that time, so please bear with me, when there was this cable system came and there was a new serial that got aired on television called Mouth Full of Sky. And the words from that particular serial was something like this. Earth, wind, rain, fire, wealth, power, blood, desire. One goal we live for before we die. One taste of glory, one mouthful of sky. And that was my definition of success, and that is what I wanted to be. I completed my 12th, I wanted to get into medicine, couldn't, and finally did my BSc in computers from University of Delhi. Did my master's, and I graduated in the year 2002. Not many of you would be aware of. 2002 was the year when IT saw its first recession. The job offers revoked. I didn't have any job for 2-3 months, and I was figuring out what is to be done. And finally, I joined an engineering college as a faculty. But there was an itch in me that I wanted to get into corporate, and I was waiting for the time when IT industry still open up and open its arm for me, and it happened. TCS started its recruitment drive. I went there, but I'll tell you a very different story out here. Now, in this teaching job that I got, I was getting an absolutely fantastic salary at that time, and my parents were really happy. And my mother was like, ideal career for my ideal daughter, nothing more, this is exactly what I wanted for you. And I decided not to tell them, and I went for this TCS recruitment drive. Trust me, it's 50 kilometers from my home. Morning 9, I have to report. I came back around 7:30, and then I told them, okay, I got selected. My father was on cloud 9, he was so happy, and my mother was, no, you're taking a wrong decision, you should continue. But I decided to move forward, and I joined TCS, and that's how this journey began, basically. And then TCS generally never gives you your hometowns, and I was placed in Bangalore. That was the first time I was going away from home, and trust me, one of the hardest and toughest thing I would have done, but one of the best thing that happened, because what I learned is how to manage yourself alone in a new city, stay in a rented apartment, manage the entire household for the first time where you have never got a chance to do that, learn interpersonal skills, learn negotiation, learn influencing, learn everything that you can, have all the freedom, and just flourish in your career. It was an ideal scenario. It didn't last it for long. I got married. And then, as usual, the journey continued, and I switched careers, and I moved to Yahoo, one of the hottest startup of its time, and it was another milestone that was achieved, and I was like going on my spree, very happy about it. Finally, I get into, and let me move and take you to my next chapter of my life, that is motherhood. My son was born, and I took my maternity leave, went back, but somewhere I was realizing that I'm not able to give time to my son, and I decided, to take a decision that something needs to be done. My husband had a travel job, and I was the only one taking care of most of the time, and I took that hard decision of leaving Yahoo. Trust me, that was one of the most hardest decisions that I've ever taken in my life, because I didn't know what is going to happen after that. How long will this be break? What will I do after it? But at that moment, I definitely knew that I wanted. I never regretted that break at all. It was almost more than 2 years long break that I have taken. But I saw my son grow. I saw him confident, bubbly, naughty child growing in front of me, and I felt very complete in myself. And one day, these kids grow, trust me, and he was 3-year-old and he was going to school. And now I'm thinking back to myself, okay, what is next? What should I do now? When considering all that, I started looking at my options. What are they? I always knew my husband had a travel job. I always knew I'm in a nuclear family. I have a small kid. So I decided to go back into academics. Trust me, the only thing that I could remember at that time was mothers are always right. And I felt, okay, she told me, and that is how the life is balanced. So let me go back into academics, and I joined a management institute as a faculty. Things didn't stop here. That itch is always there, went back to corporate, and I started looking into what are the ways. So the first thing I did is, I decided to join a management course, a distance education management course by XLRI, that was conducted over the weekends, 6 to 9:30 p.m. classes, every Saturday, Sunday, and this is what my weekends are like, and Monday to Friday I was teaching. And while I was doing this, there was some trends, and I was trying to understand how I can get back into corporate with the kind of things that I want, and I found an interesting trend in the industry, and that was, there were these enterprise companies who are investing a lot in enabling, in training their employees, their workforce, their customers, and their sales. And that is where I found that, okay, there looks to be a place where I can get back. And I started applying for these organizations who impart enablement and trainings to engineers, basically. And I got selected in one of them, and that is my next journey started, where I went back, got a chance to come back into corporate. And from there, I just grew in this particular edtech space, continued in different companies, a startup, a conglomerate, going leaps and bounds, and I was thinking what should be done. And let me take you to the next chapter of my life, which I call as challenging the status quo. I'm not the kind of person who generally, kind of be in doing something similar all the time, and I wanted to break some, the barriers, and I want to think what could be the next thing that I could do in my life. Be fearless, take risk, try, explore, learn, stretch yourself is what makes me feel that I'm alive. And then that is what I did next. I moved into product management. It was a hard journey, but I got into it. I got amazing mentors. I was learning leaps and bounds. It was absolutely a different field for me, but a lot of learning was there from past, which I could really utilize, and I was doing that. And then came, the pandemic hit. And what pandemic taught me was, and then what happened during the pandemic, we all got a chance to go and work from home, sitting in the comfort of our home and still able to earn. That was a time when it hit me, the feeling of gratitude, that I'm so fortunate to be in a position where so many people in the country are suffering, where they are the folks, they are the sectors in the society who have to go for their daily voyages, step out and found ways to earn, and I'm sitting at the comfort of my home and still able to survive myself. And trust me, and then we talk about all the stresses that we have got because of being at home. It doesn't make sense at all. So that was, I got to know about so many sectors being impacted, and I tried my level best in my ways to contribute to the different causes that I could. And at that time, I got to know about one more organization that was called as Catalyst. This organization was actually helping the school, the college girls of engineering, typically, learning engineering, helping them to be mentored. And they come from underprivileged background. And I could immediately resonate to this particular cause, and I thought, why not? Let me try this. And I got associated with 2 mentees. Trust me, when first time I met them, it was over virtual meeting, right? And it was over the video. I could see my younger self. I could see these girls having fire in their belly, have so many aspirations, have many desires, and I felt, yeah, I wanted to make changes. And with all those doubts and anxieties that I also had when I was in college, like all of you at this moment. What is there, and I think this particular platform has given you a way to learn through our lives. May not be exactly what is there, but you will definitely get certain cues to know what should be done in your life in a different or a better way. And that is exactly what I thought that my mentorship journey would be with my mentees. I'm glad to tell you my mentee is here, and I'm so happy that, thanks Umayya for coming. My next chapter of my life comes where I say that, talk about a particular very important, factor, which is what women face, the kind of challenges women face in the, corporate world or in the workplace. Now, I don't want to be very gender biased or gender specific here, but I would like to tell you about a few things which definitely are very, very particular, kind of particular with women for that matter. And one of the things that, kind of I have noticed and I have felt is that, what women generally tend to do is they want to work hard, they want to work, silently working hard, and being noticed and being appreciated is what they want. We are struggling to get this done at our home, and now you're asking us to do this exactly at our workplace also, that we work silently and we still get appreciated and recognized, which was not happening. The workplace is totally different. What workplaces tell you is, you have to ask for what you deserve. You have to negotiate. You sit on the table, you tell everyone what you're doing. And that was totally counterintuitive for being a woman who doesn't know how to do this. They even have a saying in corporate which says, crying baby gets the milk. And it was a very tough to navigate through organizations with this particular thought process. In my last few years with corporate, what I have done is when I have interacted with my managers and my organizations, I have kind of told them and helped them understand that how women will never come forward. We are asking women to change themselves, but trust me, it's very counterintuitive to their basic tenets, the basic tenets of what they have learned in their life. There are few who do it, and I'm not saying. What I'm trying to tell you is, we need workplaces which are more sensitive to how women behave than how men. You just cannot tell overnight women to change. What we want is that workplaces also change a bit. I have seen few changes. We all know there has a lot been done in diversity and inclusion in last few years. And I'm pretty sure a lot will be done. Trust me, the times when you are here is totally different than what I have seen and my co-speakers would have seen, along back when we started our journeys. Today, taking a break is so simple. That time it was like a taboo. You don't even know how you're going to get out of it. And somehow we have managed, but things are quite different, and I wish that they'll continue on this spree where women are making their mark, and there is a lot being done in D&I space for that matter. And my last chapter of my story basically now is what I call as extra mile. If you today asked me to define success, I'll tell you a story. And the story goes like this. Valmiki completed 24,000 verses of Ramayana, and he went and showed it to Narad. Narad read it and said, "You have written it beautifully, but Hanuman has written better." And Valmiki got scared, and he immediately ran to this one where Hanuman was staying, and he found the 7 banana leaves on which this Ramayana was written, and he started reading it. And after reading this Ramayana, he started crying. Hanuman asked him, "Why are you crying? Is it that bad that you felt?" He said, "No. Yours is so beautiful that no one is going to read mine." Listening to these words, Hanuman went and tore off those banana leaves. And Valmiki got raged. He said, "What have you done?" He said, "You wrote your Ramayana so that people can remember you. I have wrote my Ramayana so that my Lord Ram can remember me, or I can remember Lord Ram." So he said, our purpose was totally different. And at this stage of my life, I think I have reached a point where I'm trying to understand what success is all about. And what I have decided is that I'll take the life of devotion now, a life which you understand that whatever you're desiring is not happiness and satisfaction, but finding those things. And for that, I have taken a pledge, or I have taken a very, very different path. And I'm planning to move into opening up a social venture. And my half-brick story continues from here. It is not going to stop. And I'm going to leave you with one thought today. When you leave the world, nothing is inscribed or engraved in these stone monuments. But what is remembered is what is woven into others' people's life. And I'm looking forward to making that impact going forward from this point onwards. And thank you, Halfbrick, for making me and helping me make this decision, which I think I was taking some time now. Thank you so much.